Hi, this is Bee from Sorcery Soap, and I'm making gingerbread men today for my soap samples, although they won't be sampling scents since this is unscented soap dough, but I wanted to show you the process. So this is the color that I prefer right here, and this is dark brown with gold, butterscotch gold. That's the dark brown with butterscotch gold, and I ran out of both butterscotch gold, but I do have the dark brown, and so I'm using cafe latte, which is just a little bit flatter than I'd like, and I'm going to put some of this Mayan gold in that we just made and see if I can achieve a similar color, and we'll see. It won't matter because each individual one isn't going to be matched against the next one. So this I've already put dark brown in, but this is the cafe latte. So I'm going to mix this in and see if I could bring it up a bit. I like the shimmery color of this. And I've remixed it about 3 times now, and I'm pretty much dead on. I'll show you the color here in a sec. Let's see if we guessed correctly. Generally, it's like if you put this equal amount in, that's what I did. I put the equal amount gold and equal amount brown together, and I got this other color. So this is a little bit less warm than I want, but it still looks sort of gingerbready, so I think we're safe with that. And then I'll show you how I cut them. And then how I make them. I'll put a picture in so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So these are the colors. So this was my original color, it's my second color. And it's pretty darn close. So I think I'll stick with that. Okay, so I put just a little bit of cornstarch here. And I don't want it to be too lumpy, the cornstarch I mean. You'll see what I mean. So if there's any cracks in your soap dough, if you put cornstarch on, then what's going to happen is that you'll get cornstarch in there, and then you won't be able to, you have to work it out. So these are air holes right now. I'm going to get those out of there because I don't like those air pockets. So as a lot of you know, we just moved, and I ran out of my soap samples. So I'm making some gingerbread men for my samples. And it's good to have, like, I think the scent samples are good, definitely. I don't like making soap dough with scent in it because the soap dough consistency feels very different to me, and I don't like it. But I can, and I have, and that is, so what I've discovered is that if I'm going to put a fragrance oil in my soap dough, I have to deduct that much oil in it. So if I put an ounce of fragrance oil per my recipe, then I deduct that much oil from it. Otherwise, it's just too sticky. And that works out pretty well. I mean, there are lots of variables in that, but anyway, so I think you can see that's pretty good size. The other reason I make these little tiny samples is because when I ship overseas, I do first class, and it's per weight, and so I can't put a lot of gifts in there. I can sneak in a 10 or 20 gram piece of soap for the most part. And it's not like I'm trying to, it's just really hard to set my shippings up. So I kind of err on the side of heavy for all my things because I want to be able to fit gifts in. Now, if it's domestic, like most recently today, all my orders got, well, not all of them, the ones that ran out of soap samples, I put a bar of soap in there because the priority bag, you can ship as much as you want for up to a certain weight and within the priority bag. And I'm almost always, like there are some bags that get packed all the way full and then it kicks over to the next size, which is medium. And, but, you know, quarter ounce, half ounce, a sample at most isn't gonna hurt anybody. And it's not like I'm trying to get away with something at all. So I'm making these this week, and I'm going to get back to making soap dough creations, come up with some new ideas. I have been working on some ideas. I want to show you how to do some other things, but I still have a lot to get through from the book. I said I was going to complete that book. But if there's something that you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to take a look at it. Okay. Sometimes these come right off. Now, and also I wanted to point out, if you cut them too close to each other, they just they mash into the next one. So, and then they're harder to get out, but these came out pretty clean. And it looks like a gingerbread color to me. So there's two ways I make this color. One is by dark brown and butterscotch gold, and then another one is by, what I just did was my cafe latte with a little bit of Mayan gold in there and a little bit of the dark brown. So, and again, these aren't going to be next to each other, so nobody's going to, you're not going to see them necessarily, but I'll show you a picture of them. Oh, good. A string. I still have strings in here. It's from this. This is muslin, and the strings come through once in a while. So, and then, I'll show you how I decorate these too, because they're pretty fun. So I'm going to let these dry today, and then I'll punch some holes in the eyes. Not right now, they're too soft, but I'll let them dry. I spray them with a little bit of alcohol to get the surface dry a bit more, and then punch some holes for the eyes. And once it's firmed up a bit, because, you know, here, I'll show you. It's probably best I just show you. Okay, if I do it right now, I'll bring this closer, but if I do it right now, see how it sticks? Which isn't too terrible, but if they're just a little bit drier, it's easier. And now if it's too dry, they'll crack. So there's just a moment where a window of time once they've dried, like, you know, if I spray them and then just leave them, and like, here's how I think about it. This afternoon, I'll take care of it. Like this afternoon, I'll spray them, leave them, do some other chores, and get back to these because I have to finish the video today. And then I'll show you how those work, and then I'll show you how I decorate them. See, this is what I was talking about. If you push, okay, if you do it too close to the next one, then they just merge with the other one and they don't come unstuck, but it's still possible to get them out of here. And you can see how thick they are. And all I'm doing is trying to clean them up a bit with my fingers and push those little torn edges. I watch cookie makers make their elaborate cookies, and I think, oh, not that detailed. get some more out of these. Now, if I leave this, it'll dry too much, but we'll get some more out of these. And you can start to see some of that cornstarch is getting worked in there, which I don't care for that look, but I think these will be fine. This will probably be the last go of them though. I don't like it when that cornstarch gets too much in there. It starts to make it sort of matte looking. So one of the other things I thought I was going to do, I'm still working on the process of it, but I've decided that I'm going to make everything I've ever made. What a task. This will take me the rest of my life. Everything I've ever made in soap, I want to make in polymer clay. And the reason I want to do that is because when I moved this time, that I realized, you know, it's not that the soap goes bad, it just gets old, you know, and it doesn't look as nice. But I think the polymer clay will be more effective for me as a, oh look, I got some, use this plastic too much. I think it'll be more effective to keep examples. And then I thought, oh, wouldn't that be nice if I made little magnets of them? Because I could put them on my refrigerator, little bee magnets. I think that would be cute. A long time ago, I used to do arts and crafts shows, and there was somebody selling these little ladybug magnets, refrigerator magnets. And I bought a bunch of them. I think they were like $5 or something, which seemed like a lot of money to me at the time. And anyway, I bought them, and I bought some ravens too. And I've subsequently, they were just wooden, they weren't polymer clay ones, I don't think. I don't remember now. But I've lost them. So I have like one raven left, which I'm sure I don't even know where that is since this last move. And then the little ladybugs, I think maybe I have 1 out of 5. So I thought, well, I'll make some bees because I like the bees. I think they're pretty cute, and put them on my refrigerator and see that. And then I thought, well, maybe other people might like those and want those. Maybe I could give those too, but then they're not really soap samples, but I could give them as gifts, I suppose. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that guy's might not. See, I got a tear there. See if we can get these out of here. So last night, apparently, we were very tired, and neither one of us checked the house. Usually, like living in the city, we call it doing a security check to make sure everything's shut. You can't have your windows open at night in the city. Well, you can. I mean, it's technically okay, but I think that'll be good. But we always shut everything up. And apparently neither one of us did anything. I thought I shut the garage. We left the whole house completely open, and the garage door completely open, and everything's still there. So that's pretty cool. I wouldn't, we did that before. We were both like sort of panicky when we left the garage door open one time we lived in the city. It's such a nice change to move to the country again. There. It's quiet, and we just went out, and we have pastures, 2 big pastures around us, and well, we're surrounded by pasture on all sides, but there's horses in the back. And I should probably go introduce myself if I'm going to go visit this person's horses. I don't know how I'd feel about that, I guess. He's some old guy that puts his horses out back, and they were being, just the last week they put him out. He put him out there, and then he came and took one last night. And they're like pretty skittish of us. They weren't interested in us at first, but now they're kind of coming up and curious about us. I don't know that that's appropriate. I have an air hole right there. See if I can get that to pop. Anyway, so the horses to the side of us are, I met that person's, he didn't seem bothered by me at all. He was like more upset that his horse got out and was in my yard. So I didn't ask permission or anything. I probably should, but you just go out and say hi to him, you know. We don't do anything else. So I guess that's okay. I just don't know how some people feel about that. I don't know. It's different. Like if somebody comes up and pets your dog, some people might get upset by that. But if somebody's friendly to my dog, I used to get upset when people tried to feed my dog. I didn't like that at all. They were giving him these things I don't know. I don't know them. You know, they could be mean or something, have ill intent. But just because I don't have ill intent doesn't mean people don't, you know, should automatically trust me. So anyway, we'll get that sorted. These have been sitting for about an hour. Up here, just made these. So from here to here, these are fresh. I don't want to touch those, but these have been sitting for about an hour. And so I wanted to show you, let's see if I can get this as close as I can. So if I push down and pull straight out, push down and pull straight out, they're still pretty soft, but I just wanted to show you what I'm about, what this is looking like. The other reason that I wait for these to get a little firmer, now like I said, there's a window when you can do this where you don't want them to crack, but you also want to be able to put a nice clean hole in. The reason I'm putting holes in them for their eyes is because I'm going to fill it with black soap dough, which is quicker and easier than rolling little eyeballs. I find that pretty daunting. But and then I'll show you how I put the white little stripes on them. You could put little dots down their bellies. We could do that. Let's make bigger ones. This one's pretty thick. See how nice and clean that comes out? And if I'd done it right away, they'd be a little stickier. And it's a little firmer. I can fix some of these little Mars right here. You know, you want them to look pretty magical. At least I do. Like, you look at that and go, whoa, that's pretty cool. I still think they're cool even though I make them. So, it is a little bit crooked, but I'm holding them. So, I don't know if you can see this here. I don't want to put my hand down. Where am I here? Here we go. There. So I want them to be. Now you can't see right over top of the my hand. And then now maybe his little buttons will be a little bit straighter. There. And then I'll put his gingerbread man. Put his little white cuffs on. Okay, so that's one part. So this is the little extruder disc that I'm going to use to put the cuffs on the gingerbread. And then I've got this filled with white soap dough, which you can see by evidence on the outside of it. It's a nice thing about soap, you can just wipe it off. I was working with polymer clay and that is not the case. It's very sticky and it's a annoying substance to get all over everything. And I was like, wow, I don't know. Okay, so I didn't point this out, but this is what I want to say. Okay, so these are the phases you're going to see, not actually in real time, but at least you're going to get a kind of an idea of the process of how I make these. So in order for me, so I can sit and roll the little black dots or white dots, whatever I decide to do for the eyes. I don't like to do that. See, and this is just, you get little crumbs if you do it too soon. That's the other reason why I let them set. I don't like to do, this might even be too big. We'll see. But the reason I don't do that is because if I leave these, like, they probably would be ready to do tomorrow. So they'll be dried enough that I can, now I'm going to put some water on here and tuck these in before I keep talking, otherwise I won't. And then just put a little water underneath of them and then they'll stick, mostly. I've had them come off before, but then you just put more water and they'll stick. Yeah, these might be a little bit too big. Maybe I'll get a different disc, except I don't know where any of my discs are. I just happen to know where these are. So the reason I let them dry before I put, because what I do is pack that hole with soap dough and then scrape it off. Let me see if I can do that. I don't think I can. These are pretty soft still, but I'll show you in another part of the video. And the reason that it's just easier, I've made hundreds of these and it's just easier to do it that way, I found. Then, yeah, and this is all a little fiddly, but it's so worth it to me. I love giving these little guys away. And then yet to put the little hearts on them. So I don't know, I think those might be too big, but then the other ones are pretty fiddly, the smaller size. I have to look at pictures, I can't remember what I did before. But I think these are all right. There. It's a nice thing, it's about soap. There. They're kind of cool. They're not like really meant for washing your hands, but they're pretty cute, I suppose, if you saw them in somebody's bathroom. I always think about that being a guest at somebody's house. I'm never that, but that's kind of old thinking. And I figured out where they were, my little discs. And I think these might be better, so let me show you what I'm working on. Okay, I'll show you how big these are. I think these are too big. So, nah, not that one. So, I want just one. I think these are too small. I don't like that. That looks like too tiny. And I think this is the size. See, yeah, that's the same size, but I don't want all of these little coming through, so I'm going to do like this and put those together, so then only the centerpiece. I know there's probably one like that, I just don't know where that's at either. So we're going to do like that. Okay. Put this piece back in there. Save every piece I can, huh? Okay. Okay, so let's see. Holy cats, could these stop moving around? That would be great if they could. Just stop moving around. But this is one of my little tricks. So these are some of my favorite cookie cutters. They have the rolled edge like this. The bottom part's sharp as a knife, though. You have to be careful. And so what I do, great, there's soap dough on here, wouldn't you know it. Thank goodness it's only soap right there. No more soap dough. Anyway, I put them up like this so that way I can just scrape this off really easily instead of having to pick up a washcloth. Yeah, I'm trying to be efficient. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot better. I think that's a lot better. I'm making a lot of noise, sorry. So. See how stiff that is? The thinner it is too, the faster it is to dry out and then break. Like this piece right here is broken, I think.